Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Living Through Art podcast. I'm your host, Elijah Pestana, and we have a lot in store for you guys today. As you could see, something different. Jonathan Garcia right now, he's not with us. He's actually directing this, so clap for Garcia over here. But we do have a co-host for you today. We have Kevin Fiol.
Hello.
So, Kevin Fiol, what do you do in regards of art?
So I'm mainly just joined the programs through high school. So I've done theater, chorus, and marching band. In high school, that's called like a triple threat.
Okay, so you're the triple threat. Nobody can mess with you.
I guess you can put it that way.
Okay, and we have our old good friend Alejandro Monte here. What's up, man?
Just coming back to help out with the podcast. As everybody else knows from the previous podcast, when it comes to my relationship with art, I was in band for about 7 years, marching band for 1 year. I played the alto sax. It's the best instrument.
And for those of you who don't know, I'm a content creator. I love performing, doing everything, but I love to tell a story. And that's what the whole point of this podcast is today. Before we introduce our amazing guest, we would like to thank Florida International University for being able to not only provide us the equipment, but for giving us the space to express our passion for the arts and how we can be able to bring a community together through art. Without further ado, let's be able to introduce our guest. He is a mixed media artist and a professional illustrator. You can actually find him in most of his arts on Instagram. Everybody give it up for Ernie Markers.
What's up, guys? How are you? What's up, Living Through Podcast? Living Through Art podcast.
Living through art. That's how it is.
Living through art. Yeah.
That's how it is, man. That's how it literally is, man. Are you excited, man?
Awesome, man. I'm grateful to be here, man. Super pumped. Thank you so much, Elijah. Thank you, FIU, for having me here, you know.
And how are you hearing yourself in the audio? Everything good with you?
Yeah.
Everything's good?
Yeah.
All right. Basically, let's get just a quick introduction for you, Ernie. Everything in regards of how you got into art, what got you into the specific visual art, and where were you born? I mean, are you a Miami kid?
I am a Miami kid, actually. Yeah, born and raised here. North Miami. So, what do you want to know, though?
Everything, man. It literally, in regards of what you do. How did you?
Right.
Where were you born? How did you get first introduced with art? Things like that.
That's all right. Cool. Yeah, I was born here. I've gotten into art ever since I was in elementary school. Definitely got into, I was mostly in art class, and the teachers always inspired us to draw, and I've always drawn my whole life. So through that, it inspired me to keep going. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with art though after, but then a sudden change in my life happened like about 5 years ago or so, and that's how I became where I am now. Yeah.
I think without our process, you said that you were introduced with the majority of art forms by a family member, right?
By a family member, yes.
Yes. So could you describe that, of who was it and all that, so people can understand?
Definitely. That was a surprise I was trying to wait for.
Oh, okay. If you want, leave it as a surprise.
No, it's cool. But yeah, no, I was inspired by one of my uncles. He's a very well performed artist, graffiti artist, tattoo artist as well here in Miami. Born and raised here in Miami.
What's his name?
His tag is Junk Linez.
Mm-hmm.
Junk Linez. Yeah, he's tattooed many famous people worldwide. Many people here in his community in Hialeah, and yeah, so forth. He's done amazing graffiti. He's done amazing art for the community as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did you pick? Lately, Sorry, I'm so sorry. Continue.
Yeah.
You're good. Ever since he's known I got into art, so he would what's the word? He would drop a lot of gems onto me, dropping gems. Like, he drops a lot of knowledge on me. He introduced me into the art world. Like you can make a career out of your art. It's like, instead of kind of getting a diploma which is why I didn't really get not a diploma. I'm sorry, a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can make a living without the degree. Like a lot of artists, they've been going to schools. They've been working on their art without having the degree and stuff. But yeah.
I think you had a question, right?
Yeah.
You knowing that your dad does art.
His uncle.
Uncle. I'm so sorry, uncle.
You're good. You're good.
Knowing that your uncle does kind of the same thing as you are, did you ever picked up certain skills from him, like passing down from family?
Actually, yeah, he's taught me actually how to. He introduced me to the spray cans, which is like usually what he's mostly well known for. For graffiti and stuff. You need a spray can. He's taught me how to use spray paints. He's taught me how to use also with like acrylic paints as well. He's taught me how to. Because the thing is, I've always used markers. That's why my name is actually Ernie Markers. I've always loved using ink on paper. But then he introduced me to more mediums, which is like paints, spray paints, which is aerosol. Especially through digital. Like he taught me to digital as well. Like everything new he would learn, like I would learn also.
I mean, Ernie Markers. Thank gosh, not even Ernie Sharpie. Did you like pick up different names?
Actually, yeah, I was thinking Ernie Sharpie, but I'm like, Ernie Sharpie. I'm like,
No. Oh man, I think
I was gonna go by Ernie Ink as well. I'm sorry.
Ernie Ink. No. I imagine when people had to think of their own names, like for example, Alejandro Monti, or just me. I one time wanted to call myself Eli Debris. It's like, why do you want to be called Debris? Because I want to blow people away. You see, Jonathan's like, nah, man, your name's good. Your name's good the way it is.
But usually, how you get your name is somehow how people would call you. Like him when throughout his younger age, they would call him Junk. Like for some reason they would call him Junk, and he sticked with that name.
Or like Basura.
Yeah, like Basura. Yeah. So for me, it's like I've always never liked my name. I've always never liked Ernesto. Like my real name's Ernesto. I've always, it's like not to make fun of it or anything. It was just like I don't know. I just never really liked it. Never got into it. And then people started calling me Ernie, which is short. How they knew me, how they knew that name from Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie. That's how everyone knows my name. Like everyone would go, "Hey Bert, hey Bert." Yeah.
I hope nobody in the audience is called Ernesto.
Yeah. Ernesto's the world. We don't want to offend you, man. He just doesn't like the name.
Don't worry about it. I still got love for all my Ernestos.
Literally. Let's actually lean into. Actually, we have questions for you, and for those who don't know, he's actually going to take the time as the point of this podcast to show off his art. We have a canvas right over there, and he's actually going to take specifically, I think, what he's inspired to do. He's going to actually perform and design something that he's inspired for doing that, and he's going to talk about that later on. But let's actually lean into the questions. I think Fiol, you had some questions you wanted to ask him. What's the first thing you wanted to pop up with him?
This is very interesting. For how I see artists, more of like when they do their artwork, or if they're musicians, when they do their producing, do you off rip or off the jump know what you want to draw, or is it something where you gotta pre-plan before you do something?
That's actually interesting. I actually go both ways. Yeah, like I love going one day into like planning something out, and the other day it's like.
Which one is easier though?
Oh, which one is easier?
Which one is easier? Which one is difficult?
Obviously,
which one you got like the best results?
Obviously the one off the dome is more easier because obviously you're just planning something out of the blue, just like I don't know, like right now I'm just gonna draw like some cloud, like just without planning, just drawing a bunch of lines and connecting them together,
pretty little clouds,
like a little cloud right now, like just.
Right now, he's actually drawing in the paper. If anything, he'll show it to us in the camera in a bit. So, that's the point of a podcast. You have to describe what you're doing, like ASMR. So he's right now drawing a cloud. What else are you doing?
Just like giving it some details, some eyebrows. I would never know what I'm doing next. And like again, it all just starts with shapes. That's why I like doing off the dome stuff. So it's like. Off the head stuff. Okay? Yeah, so
like if you're doing off the head, it's more like okay, there's no wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer at all. Like no, like it's like whatever you feel off the top of your head, be proud with it. Just keep going with it. And you know what's funny? I actually like this. because I always tend to make a mess, but sometimes it will be accidents. Like I will always make accidents when I paint, or like for example, I would accidentally spill one time like a red blob on my canvas, and I'm like, damn. But then I'm like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Like, let me not get mad and just keep going. Just do something over. I made it into something else. So that's what I really like.
Yeah.
As well. Like I was planning something, and then life gave me like another good option, you know? Like that's what I really love.
Could you actually show what you drew real quick to the people probably in that camera over there, the main one?
Of course, I'm actually not really done. Yeah, like at first I wasn't like...
It's a process, so to show the first step,
Okay,
if anything, right?
Yeah, definitely. So...
If anything?
So little, he's an
angry little cloud.
Angry little cloud.
Yeah, no, I just love to give it some detail. I always love like the little eyebrows, just like getting him mad, like...
That cloud is from Hialeah, man.
Word.
He's a Hialeah cloud.
Oh,
that's why it's always raining in Hialeah. Is that what you're saying?
That's rainy. It's actually raining right now.
Yeah, it's actually it was raining today. Man, coming from Biscayne Bay, it was pretty crazy. But that's pretty cool. So you actually prefer doing things, you know, on the spot rather than, you know, thinking things over time. But tell us the planning, the structure,
that's
right?
That's what I was actually gonna get to next, because for example, like I always get hit up through commissions with clients, certain clients. So usually with those type of orders, I would get my stuff structured. I would get pre-planned, you know, organize what paints I use, what canvas I use, especially the size, because every size is definitely a different medium, different prices. You know, definitely the mediums I use, spray paints, or paint itself. But yeah, man,
that's interesting. I think going into that, overall getting with clientele and stuff, I think it probably leads to more to what you were going to say, Alejandro, and asking him.
Yes, absolutely. I was wondering, because this is one of the most important things when you want to see somebody's future, how far they want to go into this profession. If it's either, you know, a side hustle, or if it's something you want to dedicate your entire life to. And what is your opinion towards that? How far do you want to go with this as a profession, and what brought you towards doing it?
I'm gonna say I want to be remembered as what I do. Like that's how far I want to go. Like I want to be remembered with what I do. Like Ernie Markers, that dude that painted that giant bull, and you know
the guy who also hated other Ernestos. Let's not forget about that one.
For sure. Yeah, but no, like, everybody wants to remember Ernie, the guy that threw the most awesome art shows, the guy that made these original paintings, you know, everything by hand, the guy that never gave up on his dreams. Because if I'm gonna be honest with you, when I started this, before my uncle brought me into the art world, I was afraid. I was like, man, like, what am I gonna do after like high school? Like all this really started after high school, which is 5 years ago. That's when I took my art really serious. That's how I got introduced to these other mediums. Because again, I was always been a marker and paper guy. So getting through that, I lost my train of thought right now. Sorry,
no. The idea is for you focusing on, because the question was people either doing this for the rest of their lives or doing this as a side hustle. So do you think you're really trying to do this as like a...
But yes, I do plan on doing this in the long run.
You're not doing nothing on the side right now. Like you're dedicating yourself to art.
Well, right now it pretty much is. Like right now it pretty much is a side hustle, but I've always been passionate with it, so I am trying to make it like a career. Right now, I'm still employed, so definitely I want to quit the employment, not work for anyone else other than myself. You know, that's what I want to really get to.
And what do you currently do now? Because I mean, everybody as an artist, they have like a main job, like family business, locksmith, someone that I know works as, you know, as a professional cook, things like that. What do you do?
I actually work at a print shop, and I work at Inked Pro.
Shout out to Inked Pro.
Shout out to Inked Pro, my boys.
Inked Pro.
Yeah, I'm actually the embroidery guy. I'm the embroidery operator, so I'm the one that makes these hats. I embroider hats, mostly a lot of left chest stuff. Currently, right now, what I'm doing is I'm embroidering a pair of shorts. I've never done shorts.
So what is embroidering for those who don't know, and describe it to the audience?
Well, embroidery, let me show you. example.
He's right now taking off his hat.
All right. So
Yeah.
pretty much like these hats, the way the thread and the needle goes into the machine, you know, I would hoop it up, and the machine itself will go. It would design this whole thing. So I would load it in. That's my job.
If anything, show that logo. What's that logo right now that we see here?
Well, actually, I just got this hat today.
Okay.
From my boss. I was like, damn, it's really cool.
Can I see it real
it's
quick?
cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Talk about it.
So right now I don't really know much about it. Well,
I mean, describe it overall.
Yeah, so pretty much it's a spray can, little tip, brush rollers, and it says Wild Style on it, and a little drop of, I believe, paint. Yeah, it's a little drop of paint. This is actually made by an artist named, I want to say, Fisek. This is actually one of my boss's really good friends. He's actually an amazing artist, amazing illustrator. I don't really know him much, but shout out to Fisek though.
Fisek.
Would that be like a skill set you would use like long term? As because you said
Embroidering,
and that's form of like you're putting an artwork on something like a canvas,
Pretty,
same as a hat.
Yes, it pretty much is. I fell in love with it about a year ago. Like a year ago is when I just finished right now being a year at that place, and you know I fell in love with embroidery. It's a lot of patience to deal with a machine, you know, like, and to like get through jobs without like, because what happened is with embroidery, you have to like set like a bunch of tension,
different knobs
and different tensions. So sometimes like if you let it loose, the whole thing will pop off. And it's like I'm doing other things. I'm trying to do other things around the shop while I let the machine just run. But sometimes there will be an issue. Is like, oh, the yarn will pop off, or a bobbin would run out. So it's like, you know, I don't really got someone there to warn me other than me, you know. So, but no, I definitely love doing that. I would take that rather than doing. I'm trying to learn actually a bunch of other stuff in that shop. What we do is we do like screen printing, we do heat presses, dye sublimation. You know, I'm actually learning a bunch of that stuff. But this is like mostly my main job. This is my bread and butter right here.
So with the bread and butter, whether it's embroidery, whether it's painting, whether it's masking, do you think the art? How do you make your art therapeutic? Is painting therapeutic? Is embroidery? Is art that you do therapeutic to you?
Art is definitely therapeutic for me. Definitely.
How is it therapeutic for someone doing art? Describe it. Tell us what you feel.
For example, like say you recently had a bad day, or you're just going through some, let's say some very down moments right now. Like you're feeling pressed, you're feeling tension, you're feeling almost like a sort of state of depressed. Because recently I actually was pretty depressed for a couple months. I recently lost someone in my family. So my first painting this year alone, is I made a painting dedicated to her. My grandmother passed away. I made a painting for her. Yeah, so like that process, it took a bunch of weeks because, you know, after work, you know, you just like get home and you just feel tired from working.
You did this at home, or you did this at the place?
No, I did this at home.
At home.
I do actually have an option. I could actually work there because it's partially a studio, but you know, I just mostly all my stuff is at home, so you know, mostly I do it there.
You have a certain artwork that you like tend to like continually do just to relax. Like I know, for example, my stepsister, she has this coloring book where she shades in colors of these designs. And
I'm sorry. When you mean shades in, you mean like realism? Like she does realism paintings?
I think that's what it's called, where you have like a color thing and she just fills in the colors to her own design.
You said it was a coloring book, no?
Yeah, but it's not really. They don't call it coloring books. It's like a shading book.
A sketchbook.
So it's a sketchbook in a way, where they have these pre-made designs, and as she colors it, she has a lot of free form, and she just uses it to express herself, you know.
That's awesome.
She can shade in the color, what color she wants to put. Like, okay, this one is a yellow, this one is a red, this one is a blue, and just like color code it all the way down.
All the way, yeah.
When you would say shade, that's why I thought, oh, like, does she do realism? Shade is like, you know, like a blend for you could do black and it'll fade to white. It's like a sunset. You know?
Oh, I never knew that was a thing.
Yeah, like shading. It's like imagine the sunset. That's a shade right there. You know, like
okay.
But yes, like my style is basically flat colors. That's why it's like mostly I don't know if I didn't explain this earlier, but I was very heavy into growing up watching cartoons.
Okay.
So cartoons really got me through has actually inspired me to paint, inspired me to draw, inspired me to create my own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, thanks to the help of my uncle, I have actually met a lot of different people who's created their own characters, who was even got to the point where it's on merchandise and even life-size sculpture, like little toys. I was like, wow.
I mean, okay, stop. Who are all your favorite cartoon shows or anime shows? Starting with you, Alejandro.
Okay, I will say this.
No. We're going in order right
Oh,
now,
okay,
man.
okay.
That's a very nice question.
Go, ready.
Man, if I had to say cartoon shows,
Cartoon or animations, anything, but just pick one right now.
There's a lot to choose from, actually.
I'll go with cartoons, just because cartoons are classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't really grow up with anime; you grow up with cartoons.
In American audience, yeah.
Yeah,
True.
I'd say.
Just pick a channel.
This is a free space. We don't want to judge.
Honestly, just pick a channel.
I would say the Clone Wars.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
Okay, he goes with Disney.
Do you know how many Lucasfilm that went into Disney specifically?
Shout out to Lucasfilm.
Are we going Clone Wars?
Yeah.
Star Wars,
It's the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Clone Wars.
Shout out to Clone Wars. I mean, because when it first came out, actually, it was considered like Play-Doh, like the way that it looked before.
That 3D animation.
It was like 3D, and it looked weird. It's like, oh, what are these Play-Doh looking people?
Yeah, it was very stale.
But over time, it was a pretty good art form, which is really cool.
It was because of the budget.
Yeah,
it was really, but nobody was sure how far it would go.
True. What about you, Fiol?
Oh, you said cartoon and you said anime.
So pick one.
So it could be either both.
Yeah, either one.
Okay. With cartoon, it would be more of like. I'll go by channel. So Cartoon Network, and I can go to any show that is there from the 2000s for sure.
Okay, so if you had one show that you would remember, like, bro, because all of us are like 90s, 2000s kids, right?
True, of course.
So what show? Come on, you got Foster's Home, you got Billy and Mandy.
Let's go Foster's Home, Imaginary Friends. You got Billy and Mandy, freaking Adventure Time, regular show. You have Powerpuff Girls. So many.
Conan Kids Next Door.
KND. Always the best.
Always the best. Never got old.
So I would say Foster's Home, Imaginary Friends, and I would say if I had to pick an anime, I'm sorry, One Piece is all the way.
Bro, you guys tell me to watch One Piece all the time. I'm like, nah, man, I'm sorry. That thing's too long. If a group of people literally say, don't watch the first 3 seasons, just go to the next one, why am I going to watch the show?
Watch. Listen.
Why?
Would you sit in a movie theater to watch a 3-minute film?
No.
What does that have to do?
A 3-minute film?
Because if you can dedicate 3 hours just to watch a movie, you have 3 hours to dedicate to One Piece. Doesn't matter how long it is. It's
3 seasons is hundreds of hours.
Exactly.
It's literally 25 minutes for each episode.
No, but I'm gonna do a dedicated like podcast episode to talk about the ludicrous of so many different things. Like, bro, if people are telling you don't watch the first 3 seasons, they're pointless. Just start on season 4 or season 6. It makes no sense.
You're putting the same excuse.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up.
The profession.
I promise you.
Professional opinion. Okay, for me, my favorite show as a kid, growing up, that had beautiful animation, beautiful artwork, was Avatar: The Last Airbender. Oh, did I take it? Z agreed over there in the back. Yeah, Avatar: Last Airbender. Right. All the different characters, all the emotions, all the storyline.
I actually have a question.
Yeah, go.
Do you prefer that one or
no original one? Original.
Okay, original. All right. Cool,
Yeah.
Cool.
The
original. You meaning just with Aang, Katara?
Yeah, either that or the chorus.
All going with Toph.
Avatar: Last Airbender Squad. Legend of Korra was cool with the world building and the expansive stuff, but that is what I think.
Character flops.
But no, like
main character just flops.
Literally,
I think 100%. I think that's just more towards the newer generation.
Exactly.
Because every time our generation
thing.
sees something change, we're always like,
maybe.
Why did they do that? They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to, but they're growing with the second season.
True.
The next part. They're not growing with the original part. So to them, it's that's their original.
Yeah.
So I think we just complain a little too much about it.
So what about you, our guest of honor? You have the professional opinion because you are the graphic artist. You are the multimedia person. What is your favorite cartoon or animation? Go.
Okay, I will say this first and foremost. I do not watch anime.
Okay.
Yeah, like
It's
I
like
try-
you
I
don't
try-
want
I
to, or
tr-
you try.
I try to watch what's that show? The one with the superheroes on it, like
My Hero
My Hero
Academia.
Academia. Yeah, I tried watching it. Like I didn't really get into that.
It's going.
I hear it's pretty good.
Mhm.
It's getting better.
It's getting
So,
better, yeah.
so what's your favorite cartoon then?
It's a very hard question. That's a very hard question.
Can I take a guess?
But I
No.
actually, you know what?
I'm gonna take a guess. Just because of your drawing, I'm gonna take a guess. Like freaking this Nickelodeon show, Fairy Odd Parents.
You know what? I was gonna say.
For sure, because just the way you're drawing the cloud, that just popped in my head. Fairy Odd Parents.
I would I will say this.
Shiny teeth and me, shiny teeth, shiny teeth, shiny teeth.
Copyright.
Because that's actually crazy. Like I don't know if you've seen the shows before, you always know like those breaks. The director that always draws during the middle of like before the show before the show airs back from his breaks, you'll see him sketch and stuff like that. That guy drew something. I forgot his name already, but shout out to Drew. Or whoever it
Drew,
is.
whoever you are.
Yeah.
Drew, the artist
Yeah,
of Fairly Odd Parents.
The artist of Fairly Odd Parents, Danny
Yeah,
Phantom,
yeah.
Tough Puppy. Like, I love that dude's style.
Mhm.
And that dude mixed with, like, tie-in with Stan Lee. Rest
Yeah.
in peace, Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace. Like, those two dudes actually really inspired me to really keep going and making cartoons. I would reference drawing Cosmo and Wanda and
Mhm.
Timmy and the Tough Puppy, you know, like, and then I've actually took some inspiration from that. I made my own style of characters.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always loved that animation style. So I've
Mhm.
always kept going with that.
All right. Interesting. I think going into Alejandro, you had a question for him, and then Kevin, and back to me. You were saying, ask him.
There is a second question that I had. It was kind of related towards
The first one?
how far you want to go with the profession. I was also wondering, it's because you said your uncle did tattoos and graffiti,
Okay.
and a lot of times family they prefer to follow in their footsteps,
Mhm.
specifically going into just you doing tattoos and graffiti. What made you decide that you wanted to like branch off and go specifically into arts?
Well,
Did you not like tattooing so much? Did you just
It's-
prefer
it's a-
art
it's a-
more?
I love all arts, tattooing, graffiti, music. I love all of that stuff, and he loves all of it too. He's more of like the learning everything as you go type of guy.
Okay.
and that's cool. It's that like tattooing is his bread and butter. His
Mhm.
bread and butter. Like that's how he knows his name. That's how people knows his name. That's how his career has been built. It's been many years through that. I like tattoos, but if I'm being real with you, it looks pretty complicated through my eyes. It looks pretty complicated, and I just like. I've always enjoyed the feeling of just picking up a paintbrush or a pen and just drawing on paper. I feel like just drawing with human skin, it'll be a really nice experience to learn, but I just feel like right now it'll feel like a lot of stress. Dealing especially with studying a lot of anatomy
Mm-hmm.
because you have to study a lot of anatomy, like where you're gonna tattoo on the forehead or your arm, a leg, because you never know. Everyone is actually really, really different, and
I guess his question is probably saying what got you into specifically, like, for example, the name Ernie Markers. What got you into doing that type of art form of markers besides doing painting or another form? Like, what got you specifically into doing what you're doing now? Like, why you're choosing this art form instead of another type of art?
it's just an art I'm very used to. I'm very comfortable with.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said, I've always been such comfortable just holding a little equipment that I could just draw on something quiet, like not like an actual person who's just gonna scream at you.
I don't know what you're going.
Yeah, you tattooing, and the person is just like like you don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that, So it's like I love just like making messes as well. I like to just hear the spray paint, I love hearing that. Like, it's just the noise, and it's just also like background noise, like music. Well, I always like to put music. Some people, if you do tattoos, they'll be like, you'll never know what kind of picky person you'll get.
Okay.
Tattoo,
Right.
So it's like I like to be comfortable in my own space, no judgment, just like me, just learning how to like do my own things and not get judged by it. That's why I've always been more comfortable either drawing on ink or on a canvas, painting, illustrating on an iPad,
And quick question too.
For sure.
Were you always the one who won in middle school, like the art contest?
One?
Yeah, won all the art contest.
Like,
I remember I used to participate in those, and there was always this one guy who won all of them.
No, that was not me. I've never even been on middle school competition.
Really?
No.
How many people have them? I think you wanted to say something. Fiol.
You say you got your name like just because you were drawing with markers. Is it like specific markers that you use? Is it just like crayon markers, highlighter markers, stuff like that?
Well, okay, I was actually gonna say two parts about my name. Like the one how I mostly get my name is Ernie. Like people just calling me Ernie. Markers, that part I just put in myself because I've always been more in love with markers or pen and inks pretty much. Like I've always just had Sharpies, so I always just like with Sharpies.
Then what would be the specific markers you use, or just
like
whatever's on hand?
Yeah, whatever's on hand, whatever I've gotten, whatever.
You don't have like this specific paintbrush that my uncle gave me, passed down from generation to generation, or do you buy like a collector's set? I think like what is your thing that you use to draw? I think right. Is that what you're trying to?
No, what kind of markers you use?
I don't have
straightforward. It could be Sharpies, it could be highlighters, it could be anything. Anything that can draw. Most probably is a marker.
You just answered my question. Yeah, anything. I'm not picky with anything I get. Like, I'm just like, whatever I get, it's like, let's do this.
And I guess that's what's cool about your art form is that you can get anything, and because you have that mindset where it's like, oh, I don't need a plan. I can just draw what I want.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing.
Definitely.
One thing that we always like end the podcast with, we have two questions.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the future? And why do you consider what you do an art form? What? Okay, so basically, where do you see yourself in the future, Ernie Markers?
Good question.
That's not hating other Ernestos.
Yeah, for sure. Like, sorry for on behalf of Florida International University, all the Ernestos in our community and students, we respect and admire you.
Love y'all, for real.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Love y'all, for real.
But where do you see yourself, man?
I mostly see myself just doing the same thing I'm doing. Most likely not where I am with my actual career, my job, but just I know where I'm going to do regarding my paintings, my art. As long as I just put my name out there, that's why I see myself in at least 10 years traveling, meeting new people. I can't guarantee family will be involved or anything like that. Like either with my family or creating a family on my own. But I just know that art is always still gonna be in my life. So that's where I always see it. In the future, it's like I know, like right now, it's like a little high moments. Right now, I'm down moments. But I just know right now, like art is still gonna be there because the future's gonna keep changing and stuff. The world's gonna keep changing, but I am still passionate with what I do. I've read a lot of quotes and a lot of posts that have told me to like keep going, and some people say, "Oh, that's bullshit. That's a lot of bull." But I tend to actually believe those, man. I'm a believer. I'm a go-getter, and I want to do what I want to do because that's my passion. Ever since I was like born with a paintbrush and just.
So, but now, why do you consider what you do an art form? I know that you're specifically doing art, but why do you consider what you do an art? Like, tell people who don't relate to it.
You know what's crazy? Because everything I do is handmade by me. Mm-hmm. Like, all I can say is that, like, it's all handmade by me. Art is like you do something the world's never really seen. Like, you know, okay, like for example, a few years ago in Wynwood, during that whole Art Basel things with the banana and the tape, like that person, they could consider that art, because it's like it's a creative idea that just pops through from the head to make it to life. Whatever I put on paper and it comes to life, like that's considered art. It's not. It's a part of manifestation. Whatever you put down, you take notes. Even if you make your notes with a little design and a lot of details,
he's still drawing.
You're still drawing.
He's still drawing.
You're still drawing. You're still making something that nobody's really ever seen. Like you look up, like you can never find this on anywhere.
If you want to show it now, you want to show what you did now, what you added to it?
Well, right now I just did a bunch of shapes.
A bunch of shapes?
Yeah, a bunch of shapes and a bunch of like scrabble.
It really is a cloud from Hialeah.
It is a cloud from Hialeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, you're bashing your people right now, man. You're bashing your outsiders.
Let it rain.
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 All right, man.
Yeah.
So basically, you just want to be able to carry a legacy of what you're doing, and you believe art itself is creative and it's something your own, right?
Definitely. That's how I feel like every artist should be thinking that way too. As long as you believe in it and what you put out there, just do it. That's all I want to say.
You gotta use manifestation.
Manifest it to life, right?
Manifest to life, man. Like imagine, man, if we're not, I don't know who's like, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your idea, right? Like this whole podcast.
Yeah, the conception was an idea that I thought of doing, and then
you see, like the idea you had, you put it into notes, you talk to people, and you look at us right now. Like look at John, me, my friend, and these two amazing guys, and you as well. We're all here. Look at all this equipment. That money's been spent. As the amount of support you're gonna get actually from this. Like, if you don't consider that art, I don't know what is. I consider this art. I don't think of it as like oh, let's just make a podcast. No, we're making art right here.
And that's why we created this, to bring people like you with that aspect within together.
Hinted, living through art.
Yes, living through art. And with that, we just want to thank you for getting that ready. And we are actually going to go to the Canva board, to the canvas.
Oh yeah!
And we're gonna start drawing and get everything ready. Tune in.
See those markers move.
And we're gonna get a message from our sponsors right here, guys. So thank you. Oh no! I broke my key. What am I gonna do? Have no fear. Go to Jared E. Locksmith, where nothing is impossible. Here at Jared E. Locksmith, we provide various services to meet your security needs, with things such as copying and key cutting, opening your car door, and going to your business and home where you can feel safe. Just remember,
if you need a key, call Jerry D.
Jerry D. Locksmith. Call us at 305-552-5156.
Ready in 3, 2, 1. Roll headlines.
We're creating authentic learning experiences. Daily South Florida news, 100% student produced. From meeting on Zoom at 3 o'clock the afternoon before to meeting in person every morning at 8 a.m. Using CNN to share content, and every morning from 9:30 to 9:40 a.m. streaming South Florida Media Network News Break live from our studios at BBC.
News Break is an opportunity for students to come in and to do work that you would normally do in a newsroom.
The practice of having it every day, having it live, it really gets you ready for a real live studio production.
Whether it's writing, whether it's editing, whether it's being on camera, we're getting all these skills that are necessary to then go out into the field, and once we're out in the real world, we already know what's to come.
For students who are interested in coming out to Newsbreak, I would definitely encourage them to join, because it's really a great way to gain experience in a studio setting and also sharpening your skills and practicing whatever it is that you learned in the classroom. And it was just a really great decision for my career.
Hey you, what you doing? Trying to look for a podcast? Are you trying to search for a ASMR clip? Or maybe we were trying to listen to the local news. This just in on Channel 10. Or maybe you were trying to listen to your favorite audiobook that you couldn't find anywhere else. What doth the mighty little breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Or maybe you just wanted to hear your favorite celebrity talking about their day. Like, oh my gosh, did you just see what she did to me? It was so atrocious. Well, regardless of your reason, I'm thankful that you're here. Hi, I'm Elijah Pestana, and I want to talk about things that I find interesting. From religion, politics, entertainment, culture. I want to find things that impact my community and possibly you, the listener. So, this is Listening with Eli, and I hope you enjoy the show. Creating a live illustration based on our interview, here we have Ernie Markers. Take it away, man. The canvas is yours.
Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Living Through Art podcast, for having me out here. I will now be demonstrating my process through illustrating. Let me see. Usually what I'm going to do is creating some letters. Usually what I am doing right now is creating like a style of graffiti through this canvas. Graffiti has always been one of my favorite styles of arts. I give plenty of props to anyone who knows how to play with the letters. One thing I've always learned through graffiti is it's always letters first. The characters, the extra stuff, that all comes after. But as long as you know your shapes and how to style the letters in your own way, you can go through anywhere with your graffiti. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm picking up a green marker and I'm just going through styling and spelling the name of the podcast, which is Living Through Art. Yeah, Living Through Art. Hoping I got that right. Usually what I think I'm going to do is I might add some characters if I have the time and the space for it. I'm almost finishing up with the word living. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really like how this G came out. But you know what? That's the process of it. So I just gotta keep going. Now what I'm doing is just putting like some little thing called like a drop shadow. Usually with drop shadows, you have to look at it like you have to imagine a big sun and that light hitting your piece and see where the shadow is gonna take place. So if it goes to the high left, your shadows will have to go down right. Yeah, I just noticed I made a little mistake over here. So I didn't play with it right. But that's okay. I actually like it when I make a mistake because it ends up giving me another idea to draw. And that I think is like one of the most beautifulest things you could do is have, usually making something even though you didn't thought of it. That's a very cool process. So how's your day, guys? Any fun stories or anything to talk about? Am I literally gonna be the only one talking right now? Oh shoot.
What's your favorite color?
That's a good question. Um because that's different because me as an artist, I've always been into I've always loved all colors. So right now what I did, I finished the living. I'm going to do the word through with actually one of my favorite colors, red. I've always loved red. Red reminds me of like usually some people would think of it like as a negative color, but it's always been one of my favorite ones. When I think of red, I think of hearts, um, or even like apples, or I think of like a Ferrari. Yeah, I've always loved red Ferraris or any red sports car. It always looks so nice with red. Usually now I'm just finishing the word through, but I didn't wrote the entire word through. I just wrote it in a very short term, THRU, uh, to just give it a little bit of a vibe through it.
If you had an opportunity to draw someone that's famous, who would you draw?
If I had an opportunity to draw someone famous, who would I draw?
Yeah.
Mm,
Who would you draw?
probably you, Garcia. Because you're very famous, man. I've always. Nah, you're pretty famous, bro. You're pretty famous. Um, real talk. If someone famous, I would like to draw someone who's actually has a very. I want to say the most easiest facial structure. I want to say something like. I want to draw like an ugly celebrity. Like I want to draw an ugly celebrity. Like give me like what's that wrestler, bro, with a big beard and stuff? like a wrestler with a big beard, bro. Huh? Yo, you know what I want to draw, bro? I want to draw Action Bronson. Action Bronson, bro. Like we just put that. We just with that beard, man. That beard. Now with lifting his weights and stuff, like that's something I want to do. Yeah. All right, I just finished through. Actually, let me give it a little bit more, a little something in here. Usually what I'm doing right now is I'm adding like these little blocks. I'm not trying to use much inks of these, so can't really do a whole fill. And sometimes what I like to do is add these little things. I don't know what these are. These are like little details, little splits. Usually here under the H. That's where I'm going to.
Quick question.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Somebody called Ernesto. How do you think he would look like?
Yo, yes. Yes, I would draw an Ernesto. How he look like?
Would he look like you? Or?
You know, it's funny though. I looked at Facebook the other day. I tried looking at other Ernestos.
Oh, so he
Bro, yo, like,
okay, so this is a thing.
no, like, yeah, like that's. I wanted to see. I was like, damn, let me see if there's any other people with my name, bro. We all look alike. But yeah, man, I'll definitely draw an Ernesto one day, man. Probably have a beer or something afterwards. Just keep that friendship going. Keep that love of Ernesto's going out there.
Have you done any portraits of anyone?
Portraits. So I'm not like portraits are mostly through um the style of realism. I'm not much of a realism, but I have done like an illustration portrait of some of people. I've drawn people as cartoons. I've drawn some famous fan arts of celebrities. I did a Nas. That one came out nice. Um and by the way, guys, I finished the word through and the little details on it. Now I'm gonna switch to blue. Blue is also a very nice color, man. I've always loved it. So you said celebrities. Wait, what was the question again? Though I zoned out.
That if you had an opportunity to draw a celebrity, who would you draw?
Action. I'm gonna just keep it with action. No, you don't want me to draw. I would love to draw Wu Tang. I've been wanting to do something with Wu Tang for a fat. Huh? Like the whole group, yeah. But like the main group, like not like with Redman or. I mean, I would still draw Redman. Yeah, like why not? Like I want to. The more I draw anyone, it's like the more I learn.
Okay, hi Ernie. If you could paint anywhere in the world, where would you go to paint?
If I would paint anywhere in the world, where would I paint? Dominican Republic. That's where I would love to paint.
Is your family from there?
No, that's crazy. I didn't even talk about like my family actually. Um, I'm actually Puerto Rican and Nicaraguan. Yeah, but I was born here. No, the reason why I said Dominican Republic is because it's always been such a nice place to like go to get away for the weekend and stuff. Like, one day I would love to go there. Meet someone there or whatever. Like, just learn about the different culture and stuff. I'm actually finishing up writing the word art on here. And what I'm doing here is now I'm drawing, giving it its little shadows. So it could sort of have this little pop feature on it.
If people wanted to commission you for your work or to find you on social media, where can they find you, Ernie?
They could find me through mostly any of the famous social media apps: TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram. Instagram is mostly my biggest one. That's like my most I want to say fan base is from there. My ad is Ernie Markers. So pretty much that's where it'll be. I'm also on Fiverr and this blue app. I forgot what's it called. Um, no, not Twitter. It's like it's an app. I don't know if I could check it now, but it's I could. All right. Yeah, let me just check it out really quick. Oh, never mind, because it's never mind. Yeah, I'll show you all. It's like a little app, so we could like. It's sort of like Fiverr. It starts with a T. I know that for sure. But yeah. No, I'm actually thinking about going to DR, man. That's crazy. For those of you that do not know, though, This is my first podcast ever.
I like it so far.
Dude, this is like, I'm not gonna lie, the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life. Like, this is definitely a top memory. So I generally want to thank you guys for legit having me here. Damn, now I'm looking at this. This G came out mad skinny. But that's life. Time to give a little bit of.
Ernie, little people know we've actually known each other for 18 years.
Correct. Correct.
I don't know if you remember, whenever we would go to the library, there's a bunch of comic books there and stuff like that. So,
Yes.
if was there any comic books that stand out to you? Like, what's your favorite? Like Marvel, DC, and do you get most of your art from comic books?
Actually, yeah, about my art style, like, I look anywhere pretty much gives me inspiration. Like, just looking at the streets or being on this podcast, throwing ideas. They all give me something to really do. They all give me something to create and move my hands, to create something cool. But definitely, yeah, anything with a lot of color as well, um, gives me like the biggest, like, stand out. Oh yeah, but the light.
Those as a kid, like especially comic books and everything, it's just like
Yeah,
whoa,
I'm
what is
just
this?
yeah, man. Cause bro, like I said, I've always been into cartoons, the way they are, the styles. But no, definitely, man. Like the comic books, man. Those are super dope. Like, I loved, um, just seeing through all of that. I love. By the way, my favorite group, Marvel, all the way, Marvel, all the way, Marvel. I love DC. I have love for DC, but Marvel.
I second that.
I mean, bro, look at the movies and where they're going right now. No, but that Flash movie looks dope, though. The Flash movie looks super dope. Like, pretty much what I just did right now. I popped open an orange marker. Um, I did pretty much. I sketched a little hand popping out behind the word loving. I mean, living. Um, and I put it with a little marker, just trying to sketch something or just have make it kind of like, when you have those, like, so it's like a little mop marker. Mop markers, they're like made to draw, but they're very wet. So it's like when you push them into a wall or into a surface, the whole thing would drip. And I love that drippiness. Like, me, I'm a fan of like texture. So like anything with like drips or anything has always been like a favorite of mine. I've always loved drips. I think I'm gonna give this like a orange, like, sort of drips to it.
Ernesto,
What's
would
up,
you
man?
rather draw a sentient lettuce or an upside down table, and why?
A sentient lettuce?
Or an upside down table?
Hold on. First of all, what's a sentient lettuce?
Which one would you rather?
I don't know what's a sentient lettuce.
A lettuce that's alive.
Yeah, sentient.
Damn. I didn't even know that was a thing till right now, bro.
Would you rather draw a living table or a living lettuce?
Oh, they said upside down table.
Oh, upside down table?
No, I would rather draw a sentient lettuce. Like, an upside down table is like, that's low key is so boring. Like, I could literally just do
in this painting?
for sure.
A sentient lettuce.
A sentient lettuce?
All right, cool. Yeah, you have a darker green for this, actually. Just so you know, I don't know what a sentient lettuce is. So
A lettuce that looks alive.
all right.
That lettuce is
Like,
Exactly.
literally giving you some eyes right now. Luckily enough, I have this other darker tone of green. Shout out to my friend Z, with the markers, by the way. Give this like some mouth and some teeth right now. Like, I think it's just like, Hey, by any chance, how much time do I have right now? I'm at 20? Oh, shoot, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna do the Panther after. Hmm. Yeah. By the way, the process of my art, for those that aren't watching, it's like the way I paint is like it's like very hard to read. Like these markers are pretty much see through, so it's like I'm writing the word living on top with the second layer, which is through, over it, and I have art written very big. That's the third layer that's went on top of through. So it's like what I love about this style is like it's like you don't have to like kind of put it behind and stuff like that to make it legible to read. Like I like a little messiness, but still somehow that you could see it live. Let's give this guy some detail over here. Give this guy some like claws or something, as he is literally living through art. Usually what I'm doing right now, I'm giving this like very comic book feature where it's like these little like if you've seen like old comics, they would give these little like dots floating in the skies. And that's what I would usually love to put these on artworks. So let me see a panther really quick. The panther, that's what I'm going to give it with a very black feature on this. Actually, let me do a little fine point first.
Why are you picking doing the panther?
Why am I picking doing the panther? That's an interesting question. The reason why I'm picking the panther is because of the location I'm at, which is FIU, the most amazing university in all of the world. No cap. But panthers are actually a very interesting creature, man. Like just their features and everything. It's just very. It's beautiful. Like they're the most beautiful creatures ever made in this world. Usually, this marker, usually my strokes. I mean, this marker doesn't really get really cover it up. It's like some like very dried up marker, but I really do like the texture beyond this. Because it gives it like this extra like if it's old type of vibe. Make the panther sort of like give it a little cry. Give it like a little like. Usually, like the graffiti, I'm gonna give this like a little bit of detail still here. Right now, I'm using is a very fine point. It's called a Sharpie pen. Some people actually found out about this pen today. Yes, I'm taking shots at my friend who just found out about this pen today. Look at this Sharpie pen. Sharpie got pens, bro. I love how it just doesn't really cover it and gives these like little skips of ball, like a little marks, throughout the design. Like I could literally fill this up just like that. usually I love to do these straight lines, specifically for like shadows when you put them behind, or to just fill up something. But yeah. Going back in with the fill in marker. Give it this little bit of shade up in here. One more to just sink its teeth. And that will be it. I'm just gonna write my signature all the way in the bottom.
As a rule of thumb, do artists write their signature in the top, bottom, anywhere? How does that work?
It's honestly however any artist feels comfortable. If they like to have their work present and like shown up front, they will usually sign it like over here, usually in the bottom right. Sometimes they will put it here in the middle. I've never really done the whole middle thing because that's mostly like if you have like from here to over here, like just your artwork here, you leave like a space and a border here. But yeah, usually I like to put mines. Actually, well, now what I'm starting to do is I'm putting all my signatures in the back. Just so people, I like to have my audience very I love to keep them wondering, like, oh my god, like who did this, like, and they just look in the back, and it's usually like once you know what whose style of art that is, it's like, oh, that's an Ernie, oh, that's a Picasso, oh, that's a. It'd be like, yeah, man, that's an Ernie Markers right there. You don't even need to have the signature up front, like you just already know that's his work up in front.
So if you want to show it to the camera.
Definitely. Okay.
This looks honestly amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Community, we thank you for taking the time for doing this. Do you want to shout out and say all your stuff again and thank the community for watching?
Thank you. Shout out to Sharpie. Shout out to Canvas. Shout out to Elijah and Living Through Art for having me on here. Yeah, man. Just wishing nothing but best of luck for everyone here. Thank you for having me.